I replayed Voyager 19 recently and came to a very simple conclusion. None of this makes any sense. These giant planets that eat people, they don't make sense at all. The game itself is well made, and I love the slow burn of it. I love the build up to discovering that some planets are alive and then one of them eating you. But the way the planet eats you, and the planet's whole purpose doesn't make sense. In the game, you're hunting for the remains of the Magellan science expedition. They disappeared and you need to go find them. You're manning the Voyager 19. It's a one-man, light-speed capable ship/probe. It also has hibernation for the longer trips between star systems. So you're sent out to go find what happened to Magellan. You explore a few systems, scan some planets, until you eventually find them. Their ship has been wrecked and all that's left is some debris and a few files. After decoding the files, you find that they came upon a discovery. Some planets are alive, and they use a form of aggressive mimicry to look like habitable planets. These planet-shaped creatures, whatever they are, appear like habitable planets, and then when you or someone else looking for a habitable planet shows up, they then attack and eat it. I think it's a pretty neat idea and a fun villain for a horror game. The problem is this life cycle doesn't make any sense. It is a creature, the size of a planet, that pretends to be a habitable planet, so then it can get food. Its food being people who go to investigate it or settle it. I don't know how many calories a planet needs, but I guarantee 1,000 people in a colony ship is not gonna cut it. Let alone one guy. After you scan the final planet in the game, it opens up and eats you. That's not a worthwhile meal. You spend all this time and energy to look like a habitable planet, and then when a single dude in a tiny ship scans you, you then open all the way up, grab it with like a tongue thing and eat it. That's so much time and effort to eat one dude. The most caloric dense thing in the entire ship is probably whatever its reactor is, and even then, that's not worth it. The closest comparison I can think of in real life is whales. They are the biggest things we know of, and they also eat the smallest things. A blue whale eats krill as its food, but it doesn't wait around and ambush them. A blue whale doesn't pretend to be the ideal habitat for krill, and then when a single krill shows up near it, it then launches itself at it. No. Blue whales have these massive mouths, and they just swim around with their mouths open, catching as much stuff as they can and eating it. When you're that much bigger than your prey, it's a numbers game. A single krill has like no calories, so whales rely on the fact that they catch thousands of them per mouthful in order to make ends meet. Compared to these planets, which just sit there and then will eat 1 or 2 people whenever they come by. It just doesn't work. The best a carnivorous planet can hope to do is to eat a colony ship holding a few thousand people. But even then, that's not going to happen often, and that's a lot of work for not a lot of reward. And that's assuming a colony ship will even show up. If intelligent species are like people, we're probably going to want to survey a planet before we go and land people on it. And the process of surveying a planet is going to involve taking pictures, sending probes, and maybe even landing people on it ahead of time. That means this whole colony thing isn't going to work out very long term for these planets, because if it just eats anyone who goes near it, including individual probes, it's going to have blown its cover long before it's eaten enough people to make this aggressive mimicry worth it. Before we've even got to the point where we've sent thousands of people on a colony vessel, it's already eaten a science ship and a random dude in a probe. So what, it's eaten like half a dozen people and now no one else is going to go check it out. And unless these planets are like supernaturally efficient, there's no way a few dozen people is enough energy for it to live. The planets aren't even that big of a threat, all things considered, because all they do is just sit there and wait for people to show up. Once you found one, which isn't even that hard because an unmanned probe could scan it for a heartbeat, you then just don't go near the system. They're not active predators, they wait for something to show up then attack. If one does start to get aggressive, humanity in Voyager 19 is at the point where they have faster than light travel, so my honest reaction would just be,
"You may fire when ready."
Honestly, I feel the carnivorous planet is better suited to being photosynthetic. It's a planet-sized creature with a hollow inside that is able to fully open up and then re-enclose. So imagine, if you will, if the inside of the planet is photosynthetic. And then all it needs to do is find a smaller star like a white dwarf or a neutron star and enclose around it. And boom, you have a natural Dyson sphere. I think that would be a really cool concept. Imagine humanity detecting their first confirmed Dyson sphere, and then when we show up, it is a living, breathing creature that has fully encased around a star and is absorbing its light. Planet-sized creatures just being a type of plant I think would be kind of interesting. Otherwise, I just can't make sense of how this creature works. It'd be one thing if this was like Dark Star Remina, where the second it detects a living species, it goes over to that solar system and eats everything in it. Eating all the planets in a solar system along with everything that lives in it is a way more effective strategy than just eating one probe every once in a while. I guess the thesis of this video, if there even is one, is that planet-sized life doesn't make sense unless it's some weird photosynthetic Dyson sphere or a massive filter feeder that eats all the life in a system. Otherwise, it's just too big to make sense. It's already too big to make sense because the planet has a heartbeat, and like, how big of a heart do you need to pump blood through a planet? I don't even think that would work because muscles get less effective the bigger a thing is, and this and that, yada yada yada. It doesn't matter. The point is, I actually really like this game, but I really don't think the planet makes any sense. Thanks for watching.